Pick up another you call in the parking lot to Tucson. Are you with me? When I stand with the roof gone, I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Then you could get a move on, like you haul, and I know we need to go slow, but we could go faster. Maybe the best.
Give me a minute, please. Hey y'all, welcome in. I was choking. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome. Oh my goodness. It is Lit Live Saturday. This Lit Live Saturday is a little different. It's a little different today. Tonight we're going to do a special conversation. Yeah. We are talking about the Duggars. We're going to go down with Josh. As you guys know, let me see if I can get some pictures of the Duggars real quick so y'all can know who we're speaking of today, child. This family has had, they were famous. They were famous with a lot of children, okay? And Josh was one of the children. All right. I believe it was, how many did that lady have? 3 of the children have gotten married, from my recollection. Yes, 3 of them are married. Let me see if I can get some pictures put over here. Oh, great. We do have them. Hold on, y'all. Did it take it? No. Hold on, y'all. Because I want to put my picture so y'all can know who they is. Hey. Hold on. Let me get the pictures ready because some people don't know the Duggars. Some people don't know. Let me see if I can move them over. Okay, well, let me see if I can share. All right, let me pull up some pictures of the Duggars, okay? So, they started back then. It was 19 kids and counting. The mom tried to have multiple children. I believe 4 or 5 of those children are what I believe married, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get up a better picture. We're going to go into it. They got canceled in 2015. Now, they had a long show. They had started, it was like 12 or 13 kids. They live in Arkansas. Jill is married. Let me see if we can go down which one. We're going to start which ones are married now. The older ones are married. Let's go into that. After Josh, I think all of them are starting with some type of thing. And what's kind of crazy is that Jill is starting her own life of some sort. Let me play one on TikTok. One of them starting their own thing with social media. The other one, and one of them is kind of living her life and married, but let's get into it.
The thing about the Duggar family today, that there are only 6 left to be married. Like, yes. I know they're all super religious and they get married, like, basically fresh out the womb. But, like, 19 kids and there's only 6 left to get married. For some reason, I don't know why, but I just figured that there had to be, like, more than 6 that were, like, not even at the age of getting married. But Ginger, who was always one of my favorites, and her husband, Jeremy, have a podcast. And he was talking about how many siblings there are left to get married. And she said 6. Like, I cannot believe there have been that many Duggars that have gotten married. Where have I been? Am I the only one that is, like, kind of mind blown by this? In my head, I'm thinking that maybe 5 or 6 are married, not more than half. Like, I feel like I've seen that some of the older ones have gotten married, but like, honestly, in my head, they also kind of look like this, like kids.
I know one of the boys have gotten married not too long ago. So it probably is 6.
Once little Josie gets married, it's over.
Yeah.
I know I'm old.
Is,
well, maybe not too old because,
yeah,
you know, like I said, they get married like fresh out of the womb. I literally heard the craziest thing about the Duggar family.
They set them up to be married. When I say set.
So the Duggar girls actually don't just get married the second they turn 18 to the first guy that comes around or the first guy that dad picks, or they just want to get away from their family and they want to start their happy ever after. Like, let's take a look at how old the Duggars were when they got married. First off, we have Jim Bob and Michelle. I know this doesn't really show him, but I just think this is like the cutest damn picture. Jim Bob was 19 years old and Michelle Duggar had just graduated high school and she was 17 when they got married. Then we have Josh and Anna. They both got married at 20 years old. Derek was 25 years old and Jill was 23 years old when they got married. Ben was 19 and Jessa was 21. Jeremy was 29 and Ginger was 22. Austin was 23 and Joy was 19. Joe was 22 and Kendra was 19. Josiah was 21 and Lauren was 19. John David and Abby got married when John David was 28 and Abby was 26. Justin was 18 and Claire was 19. Jedediah was 22, as was his wife, Katie. Jeremiah was 23 and Hannah was 26. Stephen was 31 and Jana was 34. And then for our most recent Duggar wedding, Jason was 24 and Maddie was 20. So the Duggar girls actually don't just get married the second they turn 18 to the first guy that comes.
Yeah, so that's the recent
Johanna Duggar's recent marriage has captured the attention of the public and media alike. Not only
is crazy because Johanna is, girl, let me play.
Because of the family's long-standing prominence, but also due to the extraordinary financial revelations surrounding the event. According to documents recently obtained and analyzed by investigative reporters, the marriage papers indicate that the total expenditure associated with the wedding reached approximately $1 million. The disclosure of this amount has sparked widespread commentary and, notably, caused visible shock to Jim Duggar, the family patriarch, who is reported to have been taken aback upon learning the full scale of costs involved. While weddings in Duggar family history have been significant, both culturally and socially.
So y'all get the gist, right? So everybody's married. Some of the sisters talk to their brother, some of them don't.
The Duggars were last on TV, so here's an updated family. Of course, we got the parents,
Well,
Jim, Bob, and Michelle. We don't talk about their first child. Then we got their first set of...
So they arranged marriages. The marriages, when they date, they hold hands. They can't kiss, they can hug. That's what they do. There's no hugging, no kissing, none of that. You just holding hands. I think she took a while to get married, if I'm not mistaken. Because if she the older sister under the brother, then she didn't get married like everybody else.
Twins, Jana, who's married to Stephen, and John David, who is married to Abby, and they have 2 children, Grace and Charlie. They're really cute. Then we have our absolute icon, Jill, who's married to Derek, and their 3 sons, Israel, Samuel, and Frederick. And there's Jessa, who's married to Ben, and they have 5 children.
Yeah, Jessa has 5 kids.
Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, Fern, and George. Then there's our queen, Ginger, who's married to Jeremy, and they have 2 children, Felicity and Evangeline. And
now, Ginger was trying to have another baby. I think her or the sister, they had some complications because her and the sister was at the same time. Ginger has just them 2 kids, which is, I don't think she want to have a whole family. Now, Ginger, I believe it was her that was trying to have a child. Something happened. But I love how she just have her 2 kids. Ginger ain't trying to add no more.
And they have 1 on the way. And
okay, so she has a 3rd one. She has a rainbow.
There's Joe, who's married to Kendra. They have 4 kids, Garrett, Addison, Brooklyn, and Justice. And Josiah, who's married to Lauren. They have 3 kids, Bella, Daisy, and Ezra. Joanna, who's married to Austin. They have 3 kids, Gideon, Evelyn, and Gunnar. Now for our second set of twins, we have Jedediah, who's married to Katie, And they have 4 kids now. So they have Truett, Nora, and then just a few days ago, they welcomed Elsie and Emma. And then his twin Jeremiah, who's married to Hannah. And then they have 2 kids, Brinley and Brielle. And then there's the Duggars were last on TV. So here's an updated family. Of course, we got the parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle. We don't talk about their first child.
We don't talk about their first child. I cannot. Okay. I think that was all. But y'all get the gist of it, right? So wait, when they had another wedding dress. Oh God. So anyway, y'all got the gist of it, right? So we're gonna go and talk. They might not want. Nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the oldest one. So let's get into it because there's a lot with it. Wait, somebody confronted the mama. Yo, this is wild. Why y'all got that lady pulling out her phone? We finna get into it. So now Jill Ginger have moved out of Arkansas, and that is true. Ginger, she heads to Virginia and Rhode Island. So Ginger, her husband is a Marine Corps officer, right? Ginger is very different. Ginger isn't on the staple of having multiple children, right? Then you got Jan, who settled in Nebraska. It's weird. Then you have Jana is in Jill. I'm sorry, not Ginger. Jill is in Virginia and Rhode Island. That's the husband that is in the Marine Corps. Okay, he's a Marine. Jana is in Nebraska, right? Ginger is very different to me. I feel like Ginger is the one with the pretty eyes, the one that Olivia think her eyes look like. Ginger is different. Ginger is kind of the beat to her own drum a little bit. She lives in Los Angeles, which I found it crazy. She moved to Texas and she married Jeremy. And then they relocated to Los Angeles 3 years ago. And so he could pursue his further neurologically training. She goes and visit, Arkansas during Christmas. Justin is settled in the South. He's in the South part of Texas with his wife. So those are the ones that moved. They're not in Arkansas. Now the brother, I believe, is arrested. Now we finna get into the Duggars, right? So then we heard some things about Kendra. We're going to talk about Kendra. Joseph, Duggar, and Kendra discuss plans to make money in prison. So there's some stuff coming out with Joseph as well. Joseph and girl, sorry. I'm reading the names. I'm going to share the article though. So Joseph Duggar went to jail. Okay, Joseph and Kendra Duggar are getting their finances in order. Before the 19 kids accountant released from prison on March 30th on a $600,000 bond. Accusations that he touched a 9-year-old girl. He and his wife discussed how Jed Duggar could assist in investing their debts, which is their brother. They're talking about a truck business. Now, he has a scandal the same as his brother. He has a scandal as his brother, okay? This is the brother that has the same scandal as Josh. And she was also arrested. And we're going to talk about that. So you have the oldest son. And now you have, I'm not sure what number this is, probably 3, 4, 5. And their situation. This is crazy. Okay? This is crazy. Anna, who is Josh's wife, said that she has, she stands by her husband. She's going to stand by her husband. She's going to defend him. So it's a lot going on with this family. Now, this family is very Bible thumping driven, Bible reading, believe in God, don't leave your man, don't leave your wife type of family. She used to cook a lot for all them kids, so I don't know. Hold on, y'all. So, very Bible thumping, very by the book of the Lord. We don't do that here, right? And out of all of them, too, have experienced this. On top of that, hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. We were looking for Milo. Milo been in my room under the bed all the time, the whole time. They've been looking for him. Lord have mercy. My bad. Milo been hiding. So very Bible thumping, very by God, have multiple, they go by the word of don't cut your hair. No cheating in the marriage. God don't like divorce. Your skirt should not be above your knees or your dress. Mm-hmm. They go by what is the other one? When you're fruitful, multiply. Literally, everybody should have a lot of children. That's the rule. So we're gonna start with Josh, and then we're gonna start with his brother, because it seems like it's the same narrative, and it's very weird. Okay. I think so. The brother got arrested for child porn, and Jared got arrested for something else. It's crazy.
This is fucking a wild ass collage that I made, but don't worry, I'm holding space for whenever Joe is sentenced. I wanted to talk about this comment. No one talking about how the crime was already committed by the time Josh was going through his trial. If you have been following me for a hot
Hey, Cancer, you good. You didn't miss too much.
minute through all of my account bananas and all of that, a long time ago, after Trashley Madison was arrested, I did a timeline of events in regards to his arrest, because when Trashley was arrested by federal agents in April of 2021, he already had a history of shit that we already knew about. With that being said, Trashley Madison's car lot was raided in 2019. He was arrested in April of 2021. So from 2019, the end of 2019, I think it was like November of 2019, until April of 2021 is when Joe Jarbidge was committing crimes, knowing that his brother's car lot was raided by federal investigators. With that being said, if everyone would like today, I will skip a Sister Wives recap. I'm sorry, my eyes are leaking. My allergies are so bad already. If everyone would like today, I can probably dig up that document I made a while ago or make a new one, highlighting the timeline of events of like when Oprah found out about Trashley to, the counting on being put on the air after 19 Kids was counting, to Trashley being raided by Homeland Security, then him being arrested and things like that. I'm willing to do that today and push off Sister Wives another day. But yes, the comment is true. When in between Trashley Madison being raided by federal investigators and getting arrested is when Joe was committing heinous, horrific fucking crimes against the child. This is fucking a wild ass collage that I made, but don't worry, I'm holding space for whenever Joe is sentenced.
All right, you guys, I got good news. We are on the backup channel. We have 777 subscribers so far. We are close to our 1,000. So let's keep pushing out this content, honey. Now, I want to let y'all know we are talking about the Duggars. We are talking about Josh and Jed Duggar. And we're also going to talk about the phone calls that has been sprouted. I did add my backup channel. I was like, maybe nobody could find me. Well, I just add the backup so everybody could come in and find. It's okay because I know everybody been waiting on it. And I didn't put out a PSA, but I'll put it on there and then I'll let you guys know to follow my backup as well and go in the comments to follow. After this, we will talk about it. So if anybody want to come up and talk about it, we can talk about it, okay? So as you guys see, that is the gist of this. A lot has happened because one of the sisters say they do not talk to him. And let's get into it.
Josh ended up confessing to us that he had been unfaithful to his wife. He had gotten addicted to pornography.
Josh had once regained his family's trust and even received public support from them. During that time, it seemed like he had truly turned.
Everybody hit, thank you, Cancer. Yes, everybody hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the backup channel. I will put it in the comment section and pin it for everybody.
Turn things around. The relationship was slowly being repaired. His family was willing to believe.
I don't know why they're showing other people, but whatever.
In his change and give him a second chance. Josh also made efforts to maintain that image.
Even if it's tough sometimes, we want what's best for each other.
He showed up at family gatherings, stayed involved in daily life, and appeared stable and normal. In some ways, he even seemed more careful than before. Many people began to feel like this time, he was genuinely different. But that calm didn't last long. Then the truth came out.
No, you don't have to. I'm finna put a thing in here. You can stay on this backup channel. It's fine. I'm just letting people know when they come in, they can click the link to the other channel because I'm finna disconnect it. That way everybody can come into the other one.
Josh admitted that he had been struggling with a long-term addiction and that he...
I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Because it's like they follow a Mormon thing, like, you know, very much. I don't know. Okay.
Had been unfaithful to his wife. This revelation completely shattered everyone's understanding of him. The family was left in shock, and many couldn't even process what they had just heard. On the surface, Josh had maintained the image of someone reliable and put together, but behind closed doors, he was living a completely different life. What made it even...
Now, this is not Josh. This is what's her name, and I guess they're trying to use it because they don't want to post him. But y'all get the gist of that, but we finna get into what we really want to get into. Now, listen, if you haven't yet... Okay, if you guys have not yet, come back to the backup channel. I put the link in my, so please, let me see if I can pin it. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 5 more minutes to leave from the main channel. Hit that link in the comment section and come from the backup to the backup channel, all right? So it's 4 people in there. I would love for you guys to come out and make sure you hit that link and subscribe to that backup channel. We got 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes, I'm going to disconnect this one, and then we're going to jump into the backup. Everybody have to meet up on the backup. I'm trying to grow this one. Oh, shoot. Wait, hold on. Okay. So let's get into Jed. All right. Now we know Josh was in trouble for some stuff. We're gonna go into Jed Duggar because I hope I spell it right. Jed Duggar has been arrested, and his wife is saying she's standing with. Is it Jed or is it which one is it? Let me see. I want to make sure I have Joseph Duggar. I'm sorry. So Court TV did show what happened. Hi, we're talking about the Duggar family. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Jed. So hit that link, Lady King, and the one that's pinned, and come to my backup channel. Subscribe to that one because in like 3 minutes, we're going to be fully on the backup channel. If you can, hit that backup channel for me. That link to the backup. So Joseph Duggar, he got arrested for basically Josh, I'm sorry. Why I keep saying Joseph? Well, it is Joseph. Okay, Josh Duggar. I guess his name is Joseph. So you on the right channel, long hair. So we're gonna share that.
Joseph Duggar.
Good morning, Mr. Duggar. You're here for your first appearance after being arrested for the second-degree felony of lewd and lascivious conduct by a person 18 years of age or older. You're also here this morning for your first appearance after being arrested for the life felony offense of lewd or lascivious molestation by an offender over the age of 18 years of age and a victim under the age of 12. It's my understanding, sir, that you were given a copy of your paperwork and advised of your rights at the jail. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Saline, are you here this morning on behalf of Mr. Duggar?
Yes, Your Honor. I represent Mr. Duggar in this matter. Your Honor, the family is asking for the most reasonable bond. The court is inclined to extend. It's my understanding he has no prior criminal history whatsoever, not even a speeding ticket. His father has flown to town on Saturday and is here in our community, ready to post a bond if the court is inclined to issue such. So we're asking for the most reasonable bond the court is comfortable in setting, and
Yeah.
has to be treated as fairly as anyone else would, regardless of his status in the television industry.
Mr. Saline, are you representing Mr. Duggar for first appearance purposes or through the duration of the case, sir?
Through the duration, Your Honor.
All right. Anything from the state attorney's office?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. We're asking for a substantial monetary bond in this case. It's a serious charge against the child. We ask that there be a no contact placed with the victim, as well as no supervised contact with any minors. Mr. Duggar, even though he doesn't have a criminal history, has no ties to the community. The alleged facts here was that he was just on vacation and stayed here a short period of time. Same ability to come here a short period of time allows him to leave quickly as well. So no ties to the community. So we ask for a substantial bond under 903-46 factors you're allowed to consider to make sure he appears in court.
All right. And another judge determined there was probable cause for your arrest by signing of the warrants. Ms. Fanbro, do you have any criminal history, ma'am?
I'm going to show a child in danger being in false imprisonment out of Arkansas this year.
Your Honor, I believe those are charges that may still be pending. As you know, he has another family member that was arrested for the same circumstance. I don't think those have been resolved in light of him coming here.
Mr. Saline, I'm not aware of anything else, sir. I'm just here this morning on
Yes, he's doing the same thing.
Mr. Joseph Duggar's case. So, so Ms. Fanbro, you show those as open, you said out of the state of Arkansas?
I don't show the disposition. I show that they were charged.
Okay.
That is correct. There are pending charges in Arkansas at this time.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right, Mr. Duggar, I'm going to set your bond amount this morning in the lewd or lascivious conduct charge at $100,000. I'm going to set your bond amount in the lewd or lascivious molestation charge, which is a life felony, at $500,000. It's a total of $600,000 bond. Sir, you're going to have some other conditions as well. Sir, you are ordered to have no contact with the alleged victim. That means directly, indirectly, through a third party or social media. Do you understand the no contact order, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are also ordered that you are to have no unsupervised contact with any minors under the age of 18. Your next court date, sir, is April 20th at 9 a.m.
All right, y'all. Listen, I was trying to get everybody, because I know I do have some subscribers on that main channel. Guys, I'm finna hit that link right now. Subscribe. We're finna get ready to play the phone calls. All right. So I just want to get everybody from over there over here. All right. I'm going to end it on that main channel. I see y'all over here. Okay. On the backup. The backup is in the comment section. Okay, we got some people already here. All right, let's go. So I don't know who the victim is, but he was, oh, Lord have mercy. Yes, he was. He had a $600,000 bond. So someone went into a history of the family, and I'm going to play that video for y'all, and then we're going to get into them phone calls.
It is my belief that when things get covered up or normalized, or you have to walk on eggshells and cover up for an abuser, it will continue on in the family line. The Duggars, we have another couple arrests with one of the sons, and who I gotta say, I was shocked. This kid, he's an adult man now. If you watch the show and looked at him, he would be the least one you would suspect to be an abuser. Like, his personality just seemed like the sweetest person. Here is Jim Bob and his parents, his sister and Michelle. Apparently, his father was a very abusive person, beating him, using him as a punching bag, and almost beating his daughter to death, according to the granddaughter, Amy Duggar King. In her book, she reveals where her mother told her she came in, Grandpa was beating on Grandma, so she tried to go the other way to avoid him, and he saw her, took her in a room, threw her on the bed, and began to beat her with a belt for over an hour, till she was black and blue and near death, she says. And this is her father doing this to her. Amy said they were always told to stay away from him, don't be alone with him, don't sit in his lap. So all the grandchildren knew to steer clear of Grandpa Duggar. She said that they were taught to not even play with their Barbies around him because it could,
Hold on.
you know.
Yes, Amy is the cousin. Amy is the cousin that's been speaking out about this. Amy really has been talking about this. Yes, she's the cousin.
Inflame him to see Barbies naked. Apparently, after his death, her mother sat her down and told her the whole tragic story. Jill didn't recall seeing abuse or being abused by him, but she did. The family all knew. So this goes to show you, is this multi-generational? There's a lot with this case that we can look at to study, not just to investigate crime, but to study psychology. And, this again proves that when you hide and placate abusers, it continues. More people get hurt. We don't know if these boys were targeted and something happened to them. None of them have said that. But typically, people who abuse or abuse themselves, that's, and now we have two sons that have this problem. with being, you know what's not clear on why the wife was arrested. Looks like those charges are misdemeanors. Not sure what's going on there. They really need to clarify that.
Yeah, I'm not
So
surprised
we'll wait
either.
and see what happens. Point of my video is multi-generational abuse.
Now we're gonna go into, dang, they still talking about what's on Josh's computer? Ooh, child. Okay. Hey, MM. We gonna go into these phone calls because he talking like he finna get out, and he's saying we're gonna start a business and make some cash, child.
All between Kendra and Joseph, released by People Magazine. I promised that I would keep you all updated. Take a listen to this clip.
How are you?
I'm all right. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time praying and reading the Bible. They got me a Bible in here, so I'm in solitary. So I'm only I'm in the cell for 23 hours of the day.
Oh wow!
But
Really?
yeah, so it's like a 8 by 10 area, pretty small area. But I've been able to read a lot. I actually been resting some, but not sleeping great through the night. But
Yeah.
but it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
The People article says that Joseph spoke with Kendra at 8:11 p.m. on March 20th. After failing to get in contact with her the first 2 times he called his wife. Did you hear that? I'm out here with, did you hear where I'm at and everything? So you can obviously tell that Kendra knows that she's being recorded. So she didn't say specifically. Joseph then tells Kendra he does not think they should say where she is. And while she at first seems to dismiss that, though she ultimately does not reveal her location. They brought me to a good place to stay that's very private, Kendra says. She then turns her focus to Joseph as children can be heard running around and playing in the background. So you're doing okay? Kendra asks, and Joseph tells.
My question is, and I know they won't say who the victim is, but who is the victim? That's a question I want to know. The little girl is only 9. The child, because we don't know what the gender is, but the child, it was 9 years old that he was fondling with. So let me get this straight. Grandpa was abusive, allegedly. Josh was watching stuff on his computer that got him into trouble. Now Joseph? It's all the boys.
Her that he trying to keep his spirits up and saying reading the Bible has really been helpful and calming to think about all the situations. Joseph then gets a bit choked up before adding that reading the Bible has been uplifting. Kendra then offers to get him some reading material, but Joseph then stops responding. It is unclear what happened at that moment since the call was still being recorded and was paid for on Joseph's end. But after 2 minutes without getting a response, Kendra hangs up. She is staying at this private residence after her own home was searched by both the Tontitown Police Department and Arkansas Department of Human Services. That search resulted in her being charged with 4 misdemeanor counts, each of false imprisonment and endangering the welfare of a child. She is.
I'm going to tell you what I think. If you thinking what I'm thinking, if you thinking what I'm thinking, because it sounds like to me, it sounds like who the victim could be. That's messed up. So,
to appear in court on those charges April 29th. Now, I will just add this little bit. Just because she sounds like this in the phone call does not necessarily guarantee that she wants to continue being married to him. Right. I'm pretty sure her first initial reaction was to wonder how he's doing because naturally she is a wife. She is a nurturer. So she's going to care for him and how he's doing. That does not necessarily mean she is okay with what has been done or what he has admitted to. We don't know still if Kendra knew about these things before he was arrested. If she did know before he was arrested, that would make sense as to why she doesn't sound upset or she's not jumping down his throat, which I highly doubt she would ever do. Any woman would ever do to their husband in the Duggar family. I just do not think that's going to happen. But she sounded pleasantly happy to hear from him, and he sounded happy to hear from her. You could tell he was a little bit emotional, but you could hear kids in the background. Are those kids hers? We do not know. We don't even know if her kids are the victims in her case, because we know she was not brought back to her house. As she says, it's in a private location. He did not want her to discuss that, which, you know, naturally they're not going to do that. But I want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comment section below. I have an exclusive phone call between Kendra and Joseph released by People Magazine.
Hold on. We're going to get to part 2.
This is now part 2 of the phone call. And this part, you hear more of Kendra talking about her location and Joseph talking about the devotional he received from the Bible.
Did you hear that I'm out here with, did you hear where I'm at, everything?
I don't know. Should we say it?
I think that'll, well, I don't know.
Me personally, I feel like it has to be one of the children. Because why can't she say where she at? Why do she got to keep where she at from her husband? So it sounds like to me, in my opinion, allegedly, okay, that is one of the children. To me.
Maybe not, but it got me a good place to stay that's very private.
Oh, praise the Lord. I'm happy.
So,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
I'm taking.
I don't know.
Well,
So you're doing okay?
I'm trying to keep my spirits up, and I feel like reading the Bible has really been helpful to calm and not think about all the situations. So it's been uplifting. So
Oh, that's good to hear.
this one that I got, it's like some other
Right,
NLT version or
insane.
something like that, but it has a devotional in it that has some really good stuff. So.
In my personal opinion, in this phone call, Kendra sounded sad. She sounded happy to hear his voice, but I'm sure she had a lot going on running through her mind that she wanted to tell him that she knows she cannot say over the phone. So I want to know what you guys think about this phone call in the comment section below. This is now part 2 of the phone.
Child.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, this is Joe here.
Hi.
So I'm going to play it again without any feedback from anybody.
Hey, I know that we just know that we can't talk about a lot here. Did Travis get a hold of you?
Yeah, I've got him as my attorney right now.
So that's good.
Well, it's not for you. It's only for me. I mean, he can work with you, but it's just they said I needed somebody for the case that we've got going with the kids and stuff. So we can email each other.
Yeah, and I think I have like $60 on. I actually had $50 in my wallet when I came, so I had $60 total here. But right now, I can at least use that to call. I'm not going to use it for anything else because calls.
So it costs money for you to call me each time? Do you need more money or like?
Right now, I don't.
Okay.
But you might ask Travis about like what that looks like.
How are you?
I'm all right. I mean,
no. I'm
I've been spending a lot of time praying and reading the Bible. They got me a Bible in here, so I'm in solitary. I'm in the cell for 23 hours of the day, so it's like a 8 by 10 area, pretty small area. But I've been able to read a lot. Actually, been resting some, but not sleeping great through the night.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you. Has Travis talked to you about releasing your belongings to me so I can get your phone?
Oh, no. Tell him to reach out to me, maybe, or something. Or...
Yeah, I think we need to figure out how I can get your phone. I got your iPad. I'm trying to work through some of the lists that you gave me.
Good. Okay. Yeah, if you have any passwords and stuff, just talk to Travis and we'll get those to you so you can take over everything that you need to.
Yeah. Did you hear I'm out here with, you hear where I'm at and everything?
I don't know. Should we say it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. But they got me a good place to stay that's very private.
Oh, praise the Lord.
So you're doing okay?
I'm trying to keep my spirits up, and I feel like reading the Bible has really been helpful to calm and not think about all the situations. It's been uplifting, so
Yeah, can I get you anything? I guess, like, is there any way I can get you something else that you might need or would like to read or something while you're in there?
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, this is Joe here.
All right, y'all. 3 is giving cold. We finna get into Kendra a little bit because from what I'm hearing, Kendra has gotten evicted like 6 days ago. Right. Let's get into Kendra before we get into all this stuff.
New video showing the wife of former reality TV star Joseph Duggar in police custody. Kendra Duggar was arrested in Arkansas last week on child endangerment charges. Police saying she was brought in after her husband, who starred in TLC's night.
I hope, let me say this. I hope she doesn't be another, I think her name is Amy, married to the oldest one. She's not leaving Josh. She said it. She don't care what he did. She's not leaving Josh. She is holding Josh down for the rest of his sentence. She's not going nowhere. She said it. She's standing behind her husband. And yet Kendra is Joseph's wife, the second son that got convicted on child as anything to do with a child. That is his wife. Now, Josh is married to Amy. That's the oldest one wife. Now, I thought it was Josh phone calls because of somebody, but I'm going to have to fix my thumbnail. Yeah, so many of them. But Josh and Amy are still married. Amy has said, I'm going to stand by my husband. I don't know with Kendra. Kendra is married to Joseph. Anna, thank you. I don't know why I want to call her Amy. It's so many. Anna is married to Josh. Anna says she's still not leaving him. I hope Kendra does not be another Anna, because Anna, that man been locked up since 2021. Honey, Anna not going nowhere. She said it's been 5 years. That's her man. Kendra, I don't know.
19 kids and counting was arrested in Florida.
So what's the wife first? Okay, thank you. Amy is the cousin. Thank you. I get them mixed up. It's so many.
For allegedly molesting a minor. Kendra has been
Florida?
released on bond.
No,
the police
we
say
haven't
it
had
remains
one.
an active investigation. We've reached out to her for comment, but have not yet heard back. New video showing the wife of former reality TV star Joseph Duggar in police custody.
Wow. Okay.
The story with Kendra and Joseph Duggar is getting more and more complicated by the day. As most of you know, Kendra was arrested for child endangerment, as well as her husband, but her husband was arrested on some more serious charges that happened back in 2020 in Florida. So these are Kendra's parents right here to my left, Paul Caldwell, and this is Christina Caldwell.
Oh, okay, that's Kendra. She's married to Joseph. I think Joseph is one of the twins. Because remember, after Josh, it was just a girl. Then it jumped into the twin boys. Then it went girl. Was it a girl? I think it was another girl. And then it was a twin boy and girl. So yeah.
Joseph Duggar, Kendra Duggar. Paul and Christina have been living in Joseph's home that he sold to them for $10,000. Yesterday, Paul and Christina set up a GoFundMe to help with their family's legal fees and housing. So I know you're wondering, what housing? Why do they need help with housing? I'll tell you why. Joseph, back in 2025, which wasn't that long ago, he got the house back. The Caldwells sold the house back to Joseph. Now, I don't know what went on between 2025 and 2021 when they originally moved in, but there was something that happened, some sort of rift, some sort of argument, some sort of disagreement that caused them to have to move out of the house. Released audio calls from Kendra to Joseph. You can clearly hear Kendra say, "My parents will be moving out in 30 days and they're going to hold them to it."
Family says they're moving out in a month, and everybody is going to hold them to
A lot of these calls, you hear discussions between Kendra and Joseph discussing finances and their assets and how they're going to liquidate.
This is weird. I understand that's her husband. Don't get me wrong. But if your family is helping you, why are you pushing them out the home? I'm a lot more invested now with this house situation because it's a lot going on with Joseph and that wife over there that we don't know about, that they're trying to keep under wraps.
Them to help cover all of their legal fees and financial costs. But doesn't it make you wonder what on earth happened between the Caldwells, Kendra's parents, and the Duggars? Like, why would they ask them to leave their home? The question is, why are the Caldwells not able to afford housing? What is happening? Is no one working in the home? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Let me go to her stuff with this information. That is weird because, yeah, that is crazy. Like, so Josh is standing, he's saying he wants justice. Wait, what? Hold on. We got to go. She got a whole thing with them. We got to start because it's a lot going on with this Duggar family at this point that we have been missing out. No, wait a minute now. See, this is why people thought it was Joe. Okay, let's go to the beginning and work our way up. Because, yeah, she does look like the sister of Joanna. She does. We finna get really deep into this.
Another Duggar is in major trouble, and I'm not talking about just a traffic ticket. Joseph Duggar has been arrested on some very serious charges. As most of you know who follow me, I did report on Josh Duggar for a while. He is now serving a 10-year sentence, but I want to read what the Bay County Sheriff's Office put on their Facebook page. I'm just going to briefly read, and if you guys want to see in full detail, you just have to go and click on so that you can read the full article, as there are some things that I'm not able to disclose. So it says the Bay County Sheriff's Office has arrested and charged 31-year-old Joseph Garrett Duggar for lewd, unlawful activity with a minor. On March 18, 2026, Bay County investigators were contacted by a detective with the Tiny Town Police Department regarding a report of past SA. The 14-year-old victim participated in a forensic interview where she disclosed several incidents involving Duggar that occurred during a family vacation in Panama City Beach when she was just 9 years old. So there are some details about what took place. I'm not going to get in very deep detail, like I said. If you want to message me on Instagram, I can send you the article, or you could just go to the Bay County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, because this is the second TLC show that we've just talked about. We've just talked about the exportation of Bella and Hunter father going to court this whole time to fight for custody of not just 13 going on 14-year-old Hunter and his 1-year-old child. And we just seen Bella getting mad because she felt like they trying to take her man while they live on the compound. And you know what? All these folks in Arkansas, what the hell going on? What's going on? Arkansas, what is going on? This is the second people from Arkansas with this kind of junk. What is going on out there? Like, what is going? You got a 16-year-old on the compound in the same yard as the mother that brought a lot for their trailers with babies, You got, yeah, both of them. Then you got the Duggars. First it was Josh. Boom, bam, dill, damn. There go. What is both of them in Arkansas? What is going on? That is crazy work. Like, what is TLC? What y'all putting on this show? You already had one custody with 90 Day Fiance old girl who left what's his name and was still married and had a baby from another man on 90 Day whatever. And I think he passed. What? The boyfriend. What is going on? What is all of this? You got Chantal, as he like to call them, Chantal and family. Everybody is married except for the son. The girl done divorced the Dominican bro, and she now with the girlfriend. What is going on? And now y'all finna put that on the show. What is going on? What is all of this? The storylines are a lot of storylining, ain't they? Yeah. A lot of backwoods stuff going on. At least Chantal got her girlfriend. Chantal got her girlfriend, child. A girl that's her fiance. Her and Portia out here in loving LGBTQ community relationships. Pedro, we don't know where Pedro went, but we got there do know that Chantal is married to her little girlfriend. I wonder what her conservative family got to say. There's a lot going on.
Page and read the full statement. The victim stated that Duggar eventually apologized for his actions and the incident stopped after the apology. Investigators discovered the victim's father confronted Duggar about these incidents on March 17th, which was yesterday. Duggar admitted his actions to the victim's father and Tiny Town detectives. Duggar was arrested out of state and charged with lewd and salacious behaviors against a minor. Duggar was arrested out of state and charged. Duggar is currently awaiting extradition to Bay County. So this is something I want
He is in Arkansas. He was on a Zoom call, and I think Bay County in Florida. Whoo! Florida got a whole new law going on.
Everyone to understand. There could be more information to come out, but this is an admission. He admitted to doing it. He is not covering up. He's not trying to fight it. He already admitted it. So this is going to be a very, very long ride. So stay tuned. I will have more information, but I do just want to give a few updates on Joseph. He married his wife, Kendra, back in 2017. They do have 4 kids together. They have not been on social media. They kind of keep a low profile. They're not in many photos, as you know, ever since that happened with Josh, a lot of them have been kind of keeping a low profile. It's just a few of them who has been on social media online. What does this mean going forward for the Duggar family? Are they going to go silent? Are they going to make statements? Are they going to speak out? Pretty sure we will eventually hear something, but when I get more details about this, I will keep you informed. So please don't forget.
This is sad.
Stop allowing your sons and your daughters to sit on other people's laps. That one more time for the people that do not understand. I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this one, but you should not, and I repeat, not let your sons or daughters sit on other people's laps. And here is why. This is Joseph Duggar. For those of you who do not know anything about who he is and where he comes from, a long time ago, there was a show called 19 Kids and Counting. Yes, was ages ago. I watched the show. A lot of people actually were really intrigued by their family because they're.
Listen, I watched the show. I used to see the mama make all that food. She homeschooled the kids. The kids did not go to school. So what it was, those girls have worn dresses and skirts for majority of their life, right? I think one of them, Ginger, started wearing pants. She wore pants in California. She had on a pantsuit, and I was shocked because I was like, well, who? What happened? And I was like, oh, okay, you know, she's doing her thing. She had a speaking engagement, and she wore like a cute pantsuit. But they were homeschooled. She cooked for them. So they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She homeschooled all the kids. It's okay, Gloria. She homeschooled all her children. So they go through homeschool Monday through Friday. They have to wear long skirts, long dresses. They do not cut their hair. They were not supposed to cut their hair. Okay. So when going through that, they would go to Saturday to have the kids do something. And if the girls want to play outside, they would have shorts underneath or something underneath to where they could play. So they had trained the girls to cook, to clean, and to be nurturers. The boys play and do whatever they do or help dad build or whatever the case, yard work. Sundays was church. They go to church. From when I watched the show, the mother stayed pregnant. The last child she was trying to have was Jubilee. Jubilee didn't make it, and then came the last baby, which was it. It was 20. It stayed at 20 because she lost one. She had a stillborn, and that was the last one. Jay asked the daddy, "You want to get pregnant again?" He said, "Of course I want to have another baby with my wife. But if her body stops, her body just stops." So that's how that started. As the show went on, we had got so many seasons. We saw his wedding. I think his wedding was the last wedding. One of them was the last wedding. After the last wedding, the show was canceled. When it came out about Josh, they pulled that show so quick. They pulled that show. TLC said, take it. We can't do it. When the scandal came out, I was like, what? Who? I said, no, not the church going Bible thumping family. I said, excuse me? Yeah. Yep. The kids weren't allowed to have phones until they was like near 18. And it was so strange when they started. That was strange to me. When they started dating, they started getting phones. So imagine, and I'm not sticking up for nobody, but I want y'all to think about it. You've been sheltered all your life. You don't play with other kids. If you do play with other kids, y'all got the same belief. You can't have an experience as a teenager. So when you hit a certain age and you ready to get married by the age of 18, you are starting to date. And guess what? You're shipped on to be married. And then ain't no telling what all they saw in the home that we don't know about and cameras did not catch in filming. Those kids are sheltered. They never had a taste of the real world till they got married. Josh started being promiscuous. Here come Joseph being promiscuous. But Ginger is finding her own footing. Amy finally cuts her hair after she got away from it. It's like, because remember, Amy was still listening to, stuff that they couldn't do, like CD players and stuff like that. They didn't want them listening. They didn't want them exposed to nothing. No, we exposed you to Christian music, children Veggie Tales. Y'all remember the Veggie Tale Christian stories? And that's it. You don't dress like that. You don't talk like that. You don't walk around. You don't affiliate yourself with these people. You only affiliate with people that are just like you. And that's how they taught them kids. That's how they were raised. You date. You don't have sex. If you're dating, you don't kiss anyone. God forbid if these girls want to have something in their marriage they just can't take and they want to up and divorce, right? Let's just say, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Let's just say, right? They wouldn't even know how to date for real. So I'm glad she taught them that when they were dating, the dates were supervised. They do not touch. Only thing they get is a handshake or a hug. And if they felt like the handshake or a hug was too tempting to kiss and do all that stuff, they have a line to where they do not touch each other until marriage. Nope, you don't do that till you're married. Okay, we're going to separate y'all, learn from temptation. Nope, you don't do that. They never experienced life until they got married. Never. They were so ready to get married. I feel like They were ready to get married to get a taste of what it was outside. What it's like to be just grown and in your own thing, because they were so groomed into what it should be. Yeah, one arm hug. It was never an embrace. This is a church hug and a pat to the person you getting ready to marry. That's it. They text on the phone. They go out on dates, you court, and then y'all notice the marriage would be so like rushed. Oh yeah, Jessa, that's who it was. Yep. Jessa and Ginger do their own thing. Like I noticed when I heard Ginger move to let me see if I can find a picture of her in pants. Cause I was like, what? When Ginger moved to California, she had on a pantsuit. I know her mother was fuming fire, her mother and her dad, cause she had on a pantsuit in California. Yeah, Jessa was another one. I don't think she talked to Jessa. I mean, let me tell you something. Very much modest. You didn't let them experience anything. That she's grown, married, and experiencing life. Not saying that she had to go out here and do stuff with other people. I agreed to not doing that. That was the perfect thing. But having friends, knowing like if any of these kids go through a breakup, they would really crash out because they never been through it. They don't know. Like having friends that are not your friends, going through stuff like that, learning experience, they never have. Never.
Was 19 kids. Joseph Duggar has just got himself into some hot water. He was arrested for doing some unholy things as a Christian fundamentalist, and the world was shocked. He wanted an individual, which is now considered a victim, to sit on his lap, and you could just read the article for the rest. I'm not going to get into detail, but this is why it is so important to not allow your kids to sit on other people's laps. And this is someone who's supposed to be a Christian. At the time that this incident happened, he was 25 years old. His victim was 9 years old. This victim came out at 14 years old, so she is still a minor. She came out, she let her dad know that Joseph did something to her when they were on vacation in Panama City. When the father found out, he was outraged. And what did he do? He called the cops. And what happened next? He got arrested. I know this topic really makes a lot of you very uncomfortable, but no one's.
Okay, I'm on Ginger page, and Ginger is she has a YouTube, and I feel like Ginger just beat at her own drum to me. I'm just being honest. She's like, she has a podcast with her husband. They have a lot of people as a guest. She wear pants, and I'm going to show you she wear pants because I was shocked. Let me stop sharing this for a second. Yep, she was. Ginger has on pants, y'all. Look. She has on a pair of pants saying, she has a third child coming. I'm happy for Ginger. She's been wearing pants. Oh, she's saying something. I want to hear this.
I mean, it has been such a long week. It's been one of those weeks that feels like years. And I did not think that my heart could break like it has this week.
Oh.
The pain and heartbreak that we've had over this, and just thinking of how it's affected so many. Yeah, it's just unthinkable. It's so hard and painful.
She has cut her hair. She has colored her hair.
Painful and on many levels. It's hard. I don't even have words. And yeah, all we can do in those moments is just cry out to God and ask him to sustain us, to give help. And because it just, yeah, you can't.
Yes. Ginger have on jeans. She doesn't have on a skirt. She has on a pair of jeans.
Be prepared for news like this, even though we've experienced something very similar before with one of my other siblings who made unthinkable choices, decisions that have affected all of us. And yet the pain and hurt that's caused to us, but then to so many others is just so hard. And so, it's hard to know, what to do sometimes moving forward. You just feel the weight of it. It's a tough situation. It has been such a long week. It's been one of those weeks that feels like years.
Listen, they've been going through this. Ginger has been, wait, did she do some more to her hair? She done colored her hair blonde. Ginger has really been stepping out into who she's supposed to be. Like, she just, I want to know what she stands for her too. Like, she just, she's came into herself. She got on a pantsuit. It's like, girl, look, they weren't supposed to wear pants. I love it. I'm not even mad about it. I always felt like Ginger was that type to me, to find herself and to know who she is and just stand in it, even though, like she says, she's very Christian. She's always going to be that. But wearing pants shouldn't describe how she should be as a woman. I like it. All right, let's go to the rest of it. I didn't even know she had a YouTube, y'all.
Hello, everyone. I am back with more Duggar news, and this Joe Duggar case is literally snowballing, including Joe receiving more charges in Washington County, Arkansas, unrelated to the charges already in Florida. And to add on to this, Kendra, his wife, is now facing charges as well. KNWA Arkansas News did write a story on this, and it reads, Tunnytown, Arkansas police have filed new charges against Joseph Duggar, and now his wife is facing charges as well. Joseph Duggar, 31, is being held in the Washington County Detention Center for a case out of Florida. Joseph is now facing charges in Washington County, as is his wife, Kendra, 27. Tunnytown Police Department arrived at the Duggar family compound around 1 p.m. to serve a warrant for Kendra's arrest. However, she was not home. KNWA Fox 24 captured this video of the police department heading to the compound. The police department said that the Duggars are each accused of 4 counts of second-degree endangering the welfare of as well as 4 counts of second-degree false imprisonment. Joseph Duggar is already facing other charges out of Florida. I just want to say this because that's the end of the story, but I just want to say this. The story is developing. We already knew that he was still under investigation, which means that they are looking into everything and everyone. Do we think it's just going to stop at Joe and Kendra? Absolutely not. It's going to go way further. And this is really unexpected. I just wanted to let you all know we still need to not speculate, as in try to figure out who is involved, because we can just use our own theories and keep it to ourselves, because it can really hurt the people that are involved or the people being accused and they're not even involved. But I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I would be
Child. We're gonna figure out what's going on with Emma too. We got a lot of shows to break down. Yeah.
It's no secret that the Duggar family has been going through it this past week with everything involving Kendra and Joseph's arrest, specifically Joseph. However, his siblings have been coming out and breaking their silence, and specifically Jason came forward today with a statement, and I wanted to read it to you guys. He said, like many, have spent the week completely shocked, confused, and grieved, to list a few emotions. We are disgusted to hear the news about my brother. However, this isn't about how it's impacted our lives. Our hearts are burdened because a child's life has been turned upside down due to the evil actions of someone who should have never hurt the vulnerable. This is something unthinkable. We are angered by what has happened, and we pray God's righteous hand and the court system will serve justice in this situation as deserved.
Remind you, none of them talked to Josh. After finding out, they do not talk to Josh. And, we finna get into that. Remind you. Oh, so he was a twin. Yeah, he was a twin. I said it right. Remind you, I don't even think they're going to talk to him, to the brother. I don't think the twin is even going to talk to his twin brother at this point. It's too much. Too much has happened. And I think to them, if they feel like too much is just too much.
Maddie and I have always had a special place in our hearts for the vulnerable around us, and we will continue to do also. To fathom that someone would their authority to harass the innocent is vile. We ask that you pray for the victim who has been brave enough to share what has happened. We also ask that you pray for his family at this time, as his children must face the reality of losing a father that should have been a spiritual leader in their lives. We stand with innocent children always, in bold letters. I mean, can we just give a round of applause to that?
Right.
This
and I like how they're like, listen, we're gonna stand with the kids. It is what it is. But they're standing with the kids. I want to go down their relationship and then we gonna head on out. Because it's really not much.
We're doing a full deep dive into Joe and Kendra Duggar's relationship, from how they met to their courtship, their marriage, their growing family, and then we're going to straight up address the major news that just dropped about them. So let's get into how they met. Joseph Garrett Duggar was born January 20th, 1995, and Kendra Renee Caldwell was born August 11th, 1998. As a young girl, Kendra lived in Woodbridge, Virginia, where her father was a pastor, and in 2008, her dad was sent in Fayetteville, Arkansas. They first would have met in 2012 when Joe was about 17 and Kendra was about 14. Their families already knew each other through church. Kendra's dad, Paul Caldwell, was a pastor connected to the Duggar family, so they were really in the same religious and social circle. At this point, though, nothing romantic was happening. For several years, Joe and Kendra simply just knew each other. But in early 2017, Joe decided he wanted to pursue Kendra. And in their belief system, that means going directly to her dad to ask for permission. And once the dad approved, Joe moved forward. Joe officially asked Kendra to enter a courtship and then proposed May 26, 2017 at, get this, Joanne Duggar's wedding reception. So when Joy married Austin, at the wedding reception, Joe proposed to Kendra, which is somewhat awkward and somewhat of a no-no. I remember seeing this on the show thinking, like, why? Like, why there? Why? Joy pretended to toss the bouquet into the crowd to eligible women, but
we'll watch. I'm gonna play a little bit of this and then we're gonna go over
turned and handed it to Kendra instead. Joseph then came up to her and proposed. The proposal was actually on the show on the episode called Joy's Wedding. Today, we're doing a full deep dive into Joe and Kendra Duggar's relationship, from how they met to their courtship, their marriage, their growing family, and then we're going to straight up address the major news that just dropped about them. So let's get into how they met. Joseph Garrett Duggar was born January 20th, 1995, and Kendra Renee Caldwell was born August 11th, 1998. As a young girl, Kendra lived in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Okay, hold on. Let me play this while I look up Amy, because Ginger says she had the decision to tell her parents that she was wearing pants.
Conversations with them about that and let them know, hey, this is what I see, in the Bible. I don't see that's there, even though I said I would have held to it for all those years. And people can say what they want about your changes and how you got there, but ultimately we've just sought to be really gracious and hopefully patient, with my family, and share those things, but then also realize I understand we can be in totally different places and come to different conclusions, And at the end of the day, they will go on their journey and I'm on mine, and each of us can arrive in different places at different times. And I understand that that's just the case, but we've just sought to like talk about those things and at times just agree to disagree. When I first started wearing pants, I had conversations.
So she talked about how, oh wow, she did.
It was interesting.
Wait a minute. I didn't know she talked about the situation too.
I started to realize the older I got, why am I thinking this way? Why do I think that God is going to punish me for something I don't even know I'm doing wrong? So for instance, like as a kid, I was taught that rock music or drums in general, like even in Christian music, was bad. And if I listened to that, like praise and worship music with drums, that God could punish me for it because I'm listening to music with drums. Now in the Bible, it says nothing about that. And it only talks about praising the Lord with, tambourine and harp and like all these things. But I didn't see that. And so I would be terrified that I was going to be killed in a car accident if I was in a car that was playing that music. Right. So I became superstitious. That was also taught in the teaching that there was a young man who was listening to rock music and was killed in a car accident. So of course you realize your perspective on life starts to be one of not what is God's word saying, but what was I taught? What does this teacher say I'm supposed to do or not do? And God views it that way as well. Like life is a very delicate cause and effect sequence. So if I do this, God's going to punish me for this, even if it's not in the word of God.
The next issue Gothard was firm on was modesty. His teachings taught that girls were not allowed to wear shorts, pants, or sleeveless shirts. Ginger writes, every skirt had to reach at least below the knee. I also wore blouses and shirts that covered the shoulders. That dress code was a big part of my life because Gothard said modesty was a serious responsibility for every Christian. Based on Gothard's teaching, I saw it as my responsibility to protect others' moral purity by dressing modestly. If someone struggled with impure thoughts because of something I wore, then I bore some responsibility for that person's sin. In addition to these rules.
Wow. I didn't know she spoke out either. I didn't know they had issues either. Like, and then we're going to go to Amy.
It's interesting because whenever you look at the bigger picture of what people actually want to hear, they want to see your real life. And that was something that was hard for me for so many years to get to that place where I was willing to open up and share. And when I wrote Becoming Free Indeed, getting to that place where I was willing to speak up against the teachings that I was raised under was hard and scary.
Where did you get that courage from?
Well, the thing was, I was the last person who wanted to say anything, but when all of these issues were coming up in the public, no one was saying anything. And I, as a people pleaser, was the last person who wanted to speak up, but I knew I had to. I was compelled to speak up because it was harming people. These teachings were dangerous. They were false. And so somebody had to speak up. I was the last person who wanted to do it, but that gave me the courage to do it, is speaking up because I saw friends who were being harmed by it. They were being put in a place that was so damaging.
Where do things stand these days in terms of your relationship with the rest of your family?
I would say that it can be complicated at times with different members of my family. Most of them I get along pretty well with. My siblings, my mother, she's the sweetest thing in the world.
You dedicate the book to your mom.
I do, because she is such an angel. Like, she is a gem. And I'm so thankful to have strong relationships with most of my siblings. And there are some it still is a little bit difficult. It's interesting because whenever...
So she don't have a relationship with her dad? What the hell? So her relationship with her dad is null and void. Sounds like.
Her husband of 6 years, Jeremy.
When Jeremy came on the scene, we had to listen to 60 plus hours of Bill Gothard's teaching before we could really start talking or go further in our relationship. And that was actually really helpful. He said, well, look at what he just said and look at what God's word says. And he didn't grow up in this teaching. And that was so helpful because that started me on the journey of examining the word of God for myself instead of taking one person's opinion.
You said that you wished
looking back, that you and Jeremy could have had a different type of courtship, but despite it all, you would still choose him?
Oh my goodness. Every day I would choose Jeremy. He is the best thing that's happened to me. He is so much fun. He keeps me laughing all the time. He also has just walked.
Didn't I not say that I felt like basically that they got married, the kids, to just get away from whatever going on at home?
Alongside me throughout this journey, and it's not been easy for him, I'm sure, coming into this with all the difficulties I've had to walk through. There have been really hard days, so he's been my number one supporter.
Thinking about that makes you emotional.
It does, because he's just so sweet. He's so sweet.
What was your biggest fear when you said, okay, now I have to tell my family? What was your biggest fear then?
Yeah, I think you never know what kind of reactions you're going to get whenever anyone has a conversation with family about anything. But I sought to, from the very beginning, share with my parents what I had changed on and why I saw this as something that was important to change on. So whether that was wearing pants, I remember that conversation that I had with them, and I wanted to say, I don't see this in the Word of God. And then whenever I was writing this book, I was very clear that it's not a tell-all about my family. I love my family. I'm so thankful for how they sacrificed so much for me. So this story, though, is my faith journey.
Her husband of 6 years, Jeremy.
When Jeremy came on the scene, we had to listen to 60 plus hours of Bill Gothard.
Crazy. Wait, hold on. We finna go down the rabbit hole with Jill real quick.
We have not been back to the Duggar house since we've been married in 9 years for Christmas, and we're going this year.
It's exciting. So we talked about it. The reason we haven't been back for Christmas Day is because that's the only time of year that your family is all together. And so throughout the years, we've decided like, okay, that's going to be the time that we spend with the Volo family over Christmas. And then our family, my family, that is the Duggar family, they're always together a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for us just to pop back. We went back 1 year, 3 times in 1 year for weddings. So you're like, oh, we weren't there for the holidays, but we were there for multiple weddings. Another year it was 2 weddings. Well, multiple years, it was like 2 weddings. So yeah, we've had that. We pop back a lot.
We have not been back to the Duggar house since we've been married in 9 years for Christmas, and we're going this year.
It's exciting. So we talked about it. The reason we haven't been back for Christmas Day is because that's the only time of year that your family is all together. And so throughout the years, we've decided like, okay, that's going to be the time that we spend with the Volo family over Christmas. And then our family, my family, that is the Duggar family, they're always together a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for us just to pop back. We went back 1 year, 3 times in 1 year for weddings. So you're like, oh, we weren't there for the holidays, but we were there for multiple.
Wow.
It was interesting. I started to
that already. Wow. So she said that she was lashed out at the harsh and unkind family members who were not happy with her book. And she said that she was snubbed by her sisters Jessa and Jana after releasing her memoir. So Jana and Jessa were upset about this book. Why? Why would you be upset? Like, let's go listen to Amy. This is crazy. There's too many goddamn kids to be feuding. Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyone that lies to you, like, doesn't value you and doesn't respect you, and they're that's a character flaw. That's a character flaw. Let's be honest. And so, unfortunately, I have not seen them in years.
When you say lies, are you talking about like cousins, your uncle?
Yeah.
Like what?
So when the scandals took place, I was told by my uncle that there was no truth to the stories. There was no truth at all. There was no problem. I think for me, I rely heavily on my faith, and I believe that God is not the author of confusion. And I believe when there's chaos, when there's tension, when there's lies, when there's cover-ups,
because I feel like I've heard of people struggling with that before, where it's you have this example,
part of the generational cycles that we're talking about.
I do think she's bad talking to Jessa or Jana, one of them, because she was very close. Those three were very close. Not Amy, but Ginger, and she is on her podcast. So one of them, they just now started back talking.
It's almost like an abuse at home. You kind of look for the same abuse when you get older, or your mindset is that's the norm and it's okay, and it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So that was a threat that was verbally said. It was
literally a threat. I know several ways of how he said that he would like.
There was a verbal threat made when I was in the house, and I would have. I won't say the words I want to say right now on your podcast, but let's just say I wanted to do what should be done in a man's kind of mentality. You know, when you see someone hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
So
he had a broken femur,
abusive,
so he couldn't get up.
So protect, stand up, however you want to word it. But her dad's a very abusive person.
In our opinion,
a lot of ways.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. And then I think what really is another layer of hurt, really, that I've had to heal from is that not only was my dad that way, my grandpa was that way. I believe that anyone that lies to you doesn't value you and doesn't respect you, and they're it's a character flaw. That's a character flaw. Let's be honest. And so, unfortunately, I have not seen them in years.
When you say lies, are you talking about
That is crazy.
Literally, I was in the shower. My mom came knocking on the door frantically, Amy, get out right now. Amy, get out right now. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And I remember going in mixed matched pajamas, and my hair, it was soaking wet, and it was in a towel. And I remember literally, it was crazy. It's another little mini movie moment, but my hair was dripping from the, from my hair down. And as they were talking, it was going down my back. And I was just oh my gosh, this is a moment that is frozen in time in my brain because of all the things that I did not know was going on. Everyone told me there was nothing to it. There was nothing to it, And so the fact that Homeland Security is now in my living room, and
Homeland Security,
I have no answers for these gentlemen and these officers, and I don't know what to say. And I was completely brokenhearted.
Did you have any doubt in your mind at that stage that he had done what they were asking about? Or was there some piece of you that was going, that can't be right? Even with everything I know so far, this is just, like you said, the lowest of the low. What was mentally happening for you during that conversation?
Well, I asked the Homeland Security, I was like, I heard it. I literally told them, I said, I heard it wasn't really anything too severe. And they said, ma'am, we can't go into details, but I will tell you it is more severe than I can let on right now. And I was like a knife to the heart, Eric. I remember just when they asked me if I have seen anything that involved children, my heart plummeted. It just dropped. And I did not understand the weight of what they were saying. It was so much. And I was not okay. I fell apart after they left. Cried. And so did my mom. Everybody did. Literally, I was in the shower. My mom came knocking on the door frantically, Amy, get out right now. Amy, get out right now. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
Wow. So we're going to listen to some of her experiences. It's just going to be all different experiences. So, yeah.
I wore jeans, for heaven's sakes. I mean, I was a walking sin.
Did you wear jeans to their house?
I did.
Okay.
I did. When I was younger, they would ask me to wear skirts. And I did. I've tried on pantaloons before.
You can ask what that is, 'cause I didn't know either.
before.
What is a
We've done our research. We know.
Pantaloons?
You know,
I
they're
had
like
no
the skirts
idea.
they can wear in the pool, right?
No, the pantaloons are like pirate cottony pants that you wear underneath your skirts. They
Why
did.
would that be
Exactly. That
necessary?
was my question. I'm like, why would you wear
Pantaloons?
pants under the skirts?
Because they need more coverage.
Whoa.
Because the skirts are already down to their ankles already.
You actually wore those in real life sometimes.
I mean, when I was little, yes.
Okay.
Just to like appease my family and to show that I
Yeah.
do respect their values
Yeah.
and their rules.
Which
But
is
there was a
dope,
lot
yeah.
of them. There was a lot of rules. I wore jeans, for heaven's sakes. I mean, I was a walking sin.
Did you wear jeans to their house?
I did.
Okay.
Your mom is sisters of Jim Bob.
Yes.
The father of the Duggar family.
Yeah, I just grew up. My mom and dad had one child. They were fine with that. And every time that my aunt and uncle were pregnant, it just always added more and more. Every year was like another baby to celebrate and another baby and another baby. So, I mean, I've held all of them.
Do you remember when the opportunity to turn this into a TV show was presented to the family?
I do remember. It started off with a newspaper clipping. And it had my uncle who was in politics and 6 of his kids were little ducklings behind him walking to a Capitol. And someone took a picture of it and said, like, who is this family? This is so cute. They're all matching and color coded. And it equaled a
Listen, y'all, we're going to do a part 2 tomorrow. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I have to take care of something. I'll be right back. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. We're going to do a part 2 later, I promise.